Hello. We are continuing our discussion on chapter 4, and we are looking at combining elements. So when we talk about combining elements, we are having a root word, and that root word may have a prefix, may have a suffix, or may have even both a prefix and suffix. We talked about prefix coming before the root word or suffix, and suffix coming after the root word or prefix. Right? And this is something that is very important in relationship to understanding terminology. So let's take a look at that. And for prefixes, a lot of them that are located in your textbook. Page 72 for suffix is found on page 73. So a word like hyperglycemia has several components to it. Hyper, which means low, like, which means sugar, and anemia, which is associated with blood. So in this particular case, you have a prefix, hypo, a root word, like, and a suffix, anemia. And this is the meaning of low blood sugar. You could have hyperthyroidism. Hyper, which means high, thyroid, which means, well, thyroid, and ism, which means the state of. So it is the state of the thyroid, in essence, having a lot of activity or high activity. So hyperthyroidism is associated with too much thyroid activity. You may have a case in which a root word may have a prefix, suffix, and a combining vowel. And we talked about this particular word before, periodontic, which means around the tooth. We have peri, rather, which means around. O is the combining vowel. A lot of times the combining vowel helps make the word a little bit more easier to say. Dont, which means teeth, and ick, which means pertaining to. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some key prefixes and suffixes that you will see over your course of this particular chapter, and is part of medical terminology. So we have the prefix a, which means without, bi, which means two or both, chlor, which is green, dis, which means separate from or apart, epi means upon. Okay, plasia, like something like aplasia, or bimodal, or chloroplast, dysthenia, and epidermis, like the skin that's on the outer portion on top of the dermis. Suffixes such as act, which means pertaining to, like acupuncture, pertaining to the puncturing, a particular technique that's used in Chinese medicine. Sinya, which is pain, ia, condition of. We talk about ammonia. Logy, study of, like pathology, study of things that are abnormal. Oh, tick, pertaining to. So these are just some of the common prefixes and suffixes that you'll find. So I put this in a big bold because a good way to learn medical science terminology is to learn it based on different organ systems. And so we have many different type of organ systems. And instead of just just randomly learning them. We learn them in context to a body part or body system. Okay, and there are many different types of body systems. What I have done here to help you in your study is place a link of a very short video that will give you a little bit more understanding of that particular system. So the systems that we're going to look at is the cardiovascular system, endocrine system, gastrointestinal system, the integumentary system. We are looking at the lymph and blood system, muscular system, nervous system, skeletal system, male and female reproductive system, respiratory system, urinary system, and then the senses. Okay. All right. So let's start that particular process. So here we are talking about the cardiovascular system. And here we have a group of words together: cardio, dealing with the heart; vascular, dealing with the arteries, capillaries, and veins. And this allows for the distribution to the body through blood vessels, again, as I mentioned, arteries, capillaries, and veins. And it's the blood that transports nutrients to the cells and carry waste products away. Also, blood is very important in transporting oxygen to the different cells, which is necessary for life, and then taking the carbon dioxide and bringing it back towards the lung, which is exhaled. There are four major components associated with blood. There are the red blood cells, white blood cells, the platelets, and the plasma. The red blood cells, again, carry the oxygen to the lung, and from the lung to the cells, and carbon dioxide from the body to the lungs. Those are called erythrocytes, or red blood cells. Then you have leukocytes. Leukocytes are the white blood cells, and they fight bacterial infection by producing antibodies, for example. You have many different types of white blood cells. You have the B cells, which produce antibodies. You have the helper T cells, which mediate the immune system. We usually work with the B cells. You have cytotoxic T cells. You have NK cells, NOT cells, dendritic cells, macrophages, eosinophils, basophils, all play a pretty important role in immunity. Platelets are for clotting, okay, and help keep the, once they're cut, help form a clot. And then plasma is just proteins that you find and other materials that you find within the blood. Here's a very good, very quick example. Looking at the diagram here, not detailed, but it gives you a little orientation of what we're talking about here. So the heart pumps blood. Okay, right over here. Heart pumps blood throughout the system. Usually you have what's called a systolic number, which is the highest number when the heart is pumping the blood, and then lower number the systolic when it is at rest. Systolic phase increases the pressure when the blood flows out of the heart. Diastolic phase decreases the pressure when the heart is not forcing blood out of the heart. And then you use a sphygmomanometer to measure blood pressure. And here are some of the key words that you find associated with the cardiovascular root system. Anur is widen, Angi, vessel, aorta, arter, artery, ather, plaque, card, heart, site, cell, embolus, oxygen, pector, chest, lib, vein, stenosis, narrowing, tromb, clot, vascule, blood vessel, and vein. Okay. So if I go back to the next one, like widening, aneurysm, vessel angioplasty, of course aorta, artery, atherosclerosis, cardiovascular or cardiomyopathy, erythrocyte, blood cell, embolism, oxygen, course of oxy, pectoralis, major, minor. These are muscles in the chest. Phlebotomy, okay, stenosis, arterial stenosis, narrowing of the artery, thrombosis, clot that had broken off, vascular, blood vessel, and then venual type of smaller capillary depth becoming vein. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the endocrine system. Again, there's a video link, and here we're talking about different parts of the body that's associated with the endocrine system. Well, the endocrine system is controlled by a master gland, which is the pituitary gland. Above the pituitary is the hypothalamus, which is located in the brain. And you have different types of organs. So here you have the pituitary gland, again, the main gland that helps with the secretion of different hormones. You have here the thyroid, thymus, here the pancreas, the green that you see here is the adrenal glands, here is the kidneys, and in the male you have the testes. And then there are, in the female it will be the ovaries. So the pituitary gland is the master gland. The adrenal gland secretes hormones also, and is controlled by the pituitary gland. You have the thyroid that allows you to secrete hormones and control metabolism. Parathyroid secrete hormones that control blood calcium. And gonads secrete hormones such as ovaries giving off estrogen and testes giving off testosterone. And then glands also. Glands primarily belong to other organ systems. Liver, metabolism, stomach, of course, secrete parts that allows for digestion of food. Pancreas, for example, insulin, which is allowed to control blood sugar. And kidney, erythropoietin, that allows for control of the blood cells production. Certain keywords that you should be familiar with in the endocrine system is aden, which is gland, adrena, adrenal, crin, to secrete, glyc, sugar, lipid, fat, mix, mucus, neph, kidney, pancreatic, associated with the pancreas. If I put ic, means pertaining to the pancreas. Plas means development. Somat, body. Tetanus, thymus, thyroid. Well, just thyroid. Okay, so these are some of the keywords that you should be familiar with as relates to the endocrine system. So these are key root words that you should be associated with in relationship to the endocrine system. Okay, again, a very good video that gives a very good overview from the GI tract. This is from the Khan Academy. So here we're talking about organs that are associated with the digestion of food and the absorption of nutrients. It begins, we'll have a picture here, it begins the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestines, the large intestines, and then the rectum, which leads out to the anus. So, not the same as alimentary